Hello there everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes roster review. And we're back again. We have got Kelvin here from Barbarism Begins. I don't know why, but I've got this sudden urge to put a cape on with some, like, a horny cowl. And no, I'm not talking about Simon. Alright, so, let's have a quick look at your roster. Let's just see, let's see what you've got. Okay, so, Kelvin from Barbarism Begins. You've got SLKR, no other GLs. You have not got your Gas or your JKL or Malik, but you have got Darth Revan and Jedi Knight Revan. So I'm going to assume that Malik is maybe not an immediate priority, but it's something that you may be working on in the background at the very least. Besides that, you've not got an Executive yet, so that's just something else we're going to keep an eye on. As far as stats, your GP, you've got 2.408 million. So you're around the size of my baby account of all things. Yeah, that is quite interesting for comparison because you've got a GL, I haven't. So again, I would say that's very good on your part. You've got something I haven't. Besides that, SLKR, that range will do you very well. I mean, I'm just having a quick check. You're in Chromium right now. You're in Chromium 4. So if you actually climb in Chromium, you're probably going to meet me, and I would lose. I'm going to be blunt, I would lose the GA match, just simply because you can put SLKR down, so you're going to be doing incredibly well if you can just focus on some other teams, I imagine. So, yep, what I wanted to do just while I'm looking at the GP, sorry, I'll admit, I've just been on my phone while I'm recording this because I was trying to look at what your original message was with this in mind. What you said to me at the time: you've unlocked your SLKR, you're now going for GOs. Your future plan is to farm C3PO, JKL, then JML. So the reason I was looking there is because I thought, is Malik on that plan? And I can't see it, so maybe you've deviated a bit from what you told me. But again, it was just worth a quick look. Okay, so top 80, 1.273, top 65, 1.177, and your fleet GP is 1.06, so you're doing better than me for fleet GP as well, so praise to you for that. When we look at Zetas and Armies, 38 Zetas, no armies yet. You could do it getting your armies. They're going to be brilliant in GA, so don't underestimate them. Gear 13, you've got 18. And when it comes to your relics, you've got 3 relic 7s, you've got 1 relic 6, 7 relic 5s, and 7 relics 4 or below. I'd say those numbers need a bit of improvement, if we're being honest. I mean, I'm looking and thinking, okay, you've put your relics into your SLKR team, but I'm looking and seeing that your SLKR isn't relic 7. So that is something that could do with a bit of improvement. I know those Zim bindles are very tricky to get, but I look at it and I think with SLKR you can be doing good damage in the Sith raid. And if you hit it off often enough, you should be able to get a good amount of gear from it. So yeah, you should be able to get some Zimbindle worthy gear soon. So honestly, just try and get that 7 on him at least. It'll really boost the damage numbers up. Plus you'll be able to do more damage in the Sith raid from there. Okay, so finally, look at the mods. We've got 125 plus, we've got 720 pluses, we've got 3015 pluses, and the offense mod splits are 3 4-6s and 1 6 plus percenters. So well done on the 1 6 percenter. That is a great mod to have. We'll have a look at it hopefully. And yeah, well done on your 3 4-6s, because again, offense mods, they're really underrated. I haven't ever included it, but health mods as well are really important. So well done on getting the offense mods we can see there. So let's have a look at what else you've got on your roster. Let's see how you're building in preparation for GA, for JML, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so like I say, we've got a little glimpse here of what you've got. We are going to just move along. We're going to go faction by faction. We'll go top to bottom today. So 5 first. Nothing been worked on here. We can move along. I'm going to loop. Actually, I'm going to pause a second here, right? You've already mentioned to me 3PO. I would keep that in mind for gas, because if you're going for JML, you will want gas for your JML team. And I say that because if you haven't got clones built up, you're not going to get Ki-Adi-Mundi. And Ki-Adi-Mundi is the only one who I would say, okay, you don't need gas if you've got Ki-Adi. So yeah, you will need to work on gas. The farming plan that I would suggest is always to involve gas before going for JML, because he's such a big toon in that team. So yeah, that'd be my advice. If anyone would be interested in me doing a JML farming plan, I can detail a little bit of what I've done, by the way. I'm planning to do a farming plan of sorts. I'm just struggling to get it out. As always. Okay, bounty hunters. So you've got a double Zeta Bosk, you've got a Gear 12 Bulba as well as the Gear 12 Bosk, and you've got Gear 11 Django. Mildly curious if Executor's on your mind. I mean, Bosk and Bulba Gear 12s, maybe? I mean, Cad and Dengar are behind, IG hasn't got any gear, so maybe I'm just jumping the gun a bit there. But maybe, if anything, it would definitely guarantee you crystals. Maybe the Relic 8s are a bit of a gate for you, because like I say, we've already seen that Relic 7 is a bit of a gate, so maybe the 8s are a bit of a push for you. Just remember, you can get Relic 8 materials now from the shipment store or the crystal store, whichever one it is. That's the second tab in the actual shipments place. Yeah, you can get error magnifiers from there, you can get impulse detectors from there. You will need to hold crystals, but how I look at it, if you wanted to get something like, say, Executor, JMK, anything that required a Relic 8, it is actually free to play possible. Not easily, but it is possible. Okay, so we've had a look at clones, we'll come back to droids in a bit, we'll look at your Empire. Okay, so yeah, a little bit what I expected. You got your Relic 7 for SLKR, and the rest are just kind of lagging behind. Out of curiosity, how have you got your Palps? You've got 230 speed, a touch of offense. This isn't bad, that. Yeah, I just look at it and I think, I've got GA in mind, you see, and I look at it and I think Chromium 4 is low for you. At least based on the fact that you've got a Galactic Legend. I look at it and I think, I feel like I'm in the wrong division because I haven't got a Galactic Legend. I'm able to counter season some weak JMLs with my GG, I can beat some Rays with my gas, but the fact I have to use those big teams to take out a GL, it then weakens me on defense. So the fact I'm kind of surviving in Chromium is not something I'm happy about. So I look at it and I think, I've got the potential to push up. So I'm just looking at what factions you could strengthen up, and Empire is definitely one. Because you've got a Gear 11 Vader, my baby account's also got a Gear 11 Vader, and I know the gear pieces can be a little bit iffy, you know, maybe not the hardest, but say, I think there's carbs in there, and carbs are always demanded somewhere. I think you might even require thermal detonators. So I get it, there are some weird things he asks for, but if you could just maybe dedicate a little bit of time, put some gear into Vader, to Thrawn, even if you could maybe put some focus on Piet, who you haven't unlocked. Piet then could double up, like I say, with an Executive farm, a C farm. I recognise, again, it's pulling away from the primary focus that you want, but maybe it's just worth thinking about at the very least. I mean, don't forget as well, Dark Trooper. Dark Trooper's on the daily logins right now in March, and I'm just thinking Piet, I think, yeah, Piet's definitely an accelerated farm, so maybe you could just start getting some Imperials farmed. I mean, however, you've got 3 here. If you went for Piet and Dark, then you've got another 2 that would fit into a solid Empire team. Granted, Dark isn't really an Empire toon, he's an Imperial Trooper toon, but again, it would be an option short term. Okay, Murder Bears. Okay, well done on Low Grey. A number of times I've seen Low Grey not geared up on accounts around your size or a bit smaller. Great to see Low Grey there. I've said this a few times, but I'll reiterate this. If you're talking about turn order for PvP, you want Paploo to be your fastest Ewok, followed by Chirper, Low Grey, Wicket. Alder is the slowest. Load up Alder with speed, with health, not speed, and as well as speed, just try and make sure Paploo's got a bit of health on him. Actually, prioritise health across the entire Ewoks. So, yeah, I know Ewoks are no one's priority. I get it. I'm repeating this just for anyone else's sake. But yeah, also Chirper Zeta. I don't think you've got that on there. Nope. So I would get the Zeta on when you've got some mods on him, especially with GA. It will help you. Okay, First Order. As expected, like I say, I'd really try and get that Relic 7 on there. Let's have a look at the stats as they are. You've got 501 speed and 11,000 damage. Okay, that's kind of why I'm talking about this, because you've got the crit damage, that's nice. You got your offense, speed primary, got that offense there as well. Let's just double check just in case that nice offense mod is somewhere around here. Oh, there it is. I had a feeling it'd be on Slacker. So yeah, again, this is not criticism, it's not over the ball criticism, hopefully. I'm just trying to think, what can you do to improve? And the simple answer is relics. I'm going to say you gain crit chance, crit damage, and damage from his relic level. I can't remember offhand what the relic jump will be, but you're going to get a nice little boost to that number. The two ways, in my opinion, to build a SLK are, you can go slow. I can't show it, but I'm using inverted commas here. 501 is slow, but then you can compensate by having high damage, so we're talking 12 to 13k. Or you can go for fast, where we're talking 550 plus, maybe 530 plus at a push, but then the damage goes down to about 11, 12k. So you've got two ways of doing it. Are you modding right now? I'd say you're going down the slow route, which I personally do. I like it. Again, I said it in a recent roster review video, this is the one toon that I actually put crit damage on without crit damage sets. For the simple fact, I like boosting that offense number. Just because all of these abilities, to my recollection, do physical damage. Let me double check that. Yep, all physical damage. So I like to focus in on that. I know that crit damage applies everywhere else, but for me personally, I tend to be doing SLK or mirror matches a lot, so crit damage really doesn't come into play. I mean, you get the odd crit hit, but it's not the most important stat. So for me, offense is a big one, just that when you're actually landing your hits, they make a bit of an impact. Okay, so I've waffled on a bit there, I apologise. Let's just check your crew. Health mods, loving it. Loving the health pool there. How much armour have you got? Okay, a little bit low on the armour. Piece of advice for you. I was told very early on, try and aim your armour to 72%. Once the armour is up to 72, crew will survive quite a long time, and I can vouch for this. Before I had the armour that high, when crew was getting targeted by opposing SLKRs or other toons that prioritise a tank, then yeah, he was getting wiped out pretty quickly. Whereas if you just swap that primary for a defense primary, and you could probably afford to put defense primary down here as well, if you do a health primary, defense primary split, you will see the improvement. If you do defense primaries, you've obviously got like health secondaries like that. I mean, that is a very good health secondary, by the way. This is a nice mod. I do want to reiterate that, because I always feel like I'm telling people off, like, oh no, this is wrong. Honestly, if you were to stick with this, it would do you alright. Again, this is more about how can you improve. And yeah, for me, that is just one sly little way of doing it. I mean, crew as a tank doesn't really need a speed primary. I think there are a lot of tanks in the game that are going that way, where you don't need speed. I mean, 263 on crew is quite a lot. If you intend to use him as a leader in GA, then maybe there's a bit of benefit to that, so he keeps taking turns, keeps getting stuns. But if you just use him in an SLKR team, you don't need it. So that'd be the way I'd be thinking. Just maybe slap a bit more defense, get some armor on him. Hooks, how fast did you got him? 301, that is very nice, very nice. Again, I'm talking about personal experience here. I actually really pushed the boat out to get a crit avoidance arrow for him. I actually got good speed, I think it was 19 speed secondary. It might have been 20, I can't remember offhand. But yeah, the only reason I went for crit avoidance is, one, mastery. Gains crit avoidance and mastery, so you double down in on it with mods. But besides that, I just like the idea that if I decide to use hooks as a lead somewhere else, he is actually going to do some good. And to be fair, he does have that tankiness about him. I mean, he's still a glass cannon of sorts, but if your opponent can't crit him, it does take a few extra turns to knock him down. So I like my modding, but again, I'm going to reiterate this: speed is not wrong. Crit avoidance is the luxury. It's the one where you think, go on, I'm just going to try and push it a little. Okay. As far as the rest, I am going to just leave it there. Sift Trooper, go on, I'll be honest, I want to move on, but I feel, go on, I've got to look at your first order, sorry. So, wow, that was a fast Sith Trooper. Wow. That isn't bad. I think it's a bit excessive. Again, my thought process here is that Sith Trooper, because of Emperor's Legacy, if another... well, is it not this one? It's this bit here. Whenever a First Order ally or Sith ally is defeated, the cooldown of Ancient Blast is reset, then Sith Trooper gains advantage and takes a bonus turn. Now, I've got mirror matches in mind again, but you don't really need speed in mirrors. He's just going to take turns regardless because of the bonus turn, and the opposing SLKR will guaranteed take turns out. So, unless you're facing a lot of Rays, or a lot of Sith Eternal Emperors, I really don't see the need for that much speed. You could probably afford to move them mods onto someone who needs speed and damage. I've got someone like Vader in mind there. Granted, Vader is gear 11, but if you get him to gear 12, then maybe you could shift those mods along. All you need on Sith Trooper, really, in my opinion, is just... You need a touch of speed. You don't want to be a complete snail, but again, just a bit of speed. You know, we're talking... I mean, you got, what, 279 was that? Yeah. I'd say 240 is okay. Maybe 250. You know, it's only a little bit slower, but we're essentially talking taking an arrow off. So if you've actually found an offense primary arrow and a touch of speed in it, you would actually be okay putting that on and just changing one mod around. But yeah, you don't need that much, and if you can afford to send those mods elsewhere to, like I say, a Vader or something like that, you probably would benefit. The other one I'm just going to look at is First Order Stormtrooper. Simple reason here, First Order Stormtrooper. Similar modding to crew, you don't really need the speed, so you've got the right strats there with health all the way with First Order Stormtrooper. But if you can get defense mods in there as well, or defense primaries, that will really help you out. You don't need protection, as you've got that bang on with the health. It's the armor you want. I actually found First Order Stormtrooper easier to get armor onto. My primaries were about the same as crews, yet when I put those mods onto First Order Stormtrooper, the armor just jumps up quite quickly. And I actually like it because I feel like the AI targets the one that is easier to take down. Again, I'm thinking mirrors in my mind here. And I think it is something about the idea that if you target... if you put more armour onto First Order Stormtrooper, the AI will target it, but then your crew has got a turn spare, if you like, so you can maybe stun an opposing toon as well. There's nice options. You can maybe rely on what happens in a mirror match just that touch more. Again, I'm going from personal experience there. Maybe it's just anecdotal. Maybe your mirrors are different to my mirrors. But in general, it's just a nice little thing I would suggest. But regardless, armour will help. Okay, so forgive me, I'm just going to move on. If you have got a nice First Order toon there, I apologise for neglecting them. But let's just move along. So, Galactic Republic, you've got Padme unlocked. Well done on that. You've got General Kenobi at 7 star. Anakin 7 star. You've got Qui-Gon Jinn at 4. I can guess what that's about. Okay, quite interesting seeing some of this. All low gear, so it's a bit hard for me to say, oh, you know, this is right, this is wrong. I mean, on my main account, I've got a Grievous about the size of Padme, maybe a bit bigger. I've got the wrong mods on and all sorts. So this is why I don't look at lower mods. I'm not just for anyone who does wonder this. It's not that I think, oh, your Padme's not good. It's just it's not ready yet. It's like looking at a cake in the oven and it's not even risen out of the actual tin. So yeah, once it looks like it's cooking, I'll have a look, but yeah, it's not even rising yet. Geos, I did see a Geo Brood Alpha, yeah, very nicely done there. Let's have a quick look. Okay, so no 6E mods, don't worry, I get that, mine would probably be the same. 117 protection, quite nice. Speed, 234, alright, pretty solid. One thing I will say, because you've got SLKR, there is a SLKR team that can beat JMLs. It is Supreme Leader Kylo lead, obviously. General Grievous, which I believe you haven't got built, so that might be a stumbling block for you. I'm trying to remember the rest of it now. Geonosian Brood Alpha, so you've got the first piece of the puzzle there. B1, so you'd need B1 built enough, you know. Obviously a Zeta would help because of the stacks of B1 battalion, but honestly, you could probably get away with low gear for a while. And then the other one is Wat Tambor. So I don't know what Wat is, we'll have a look in a minute. But that team can take out JMLs just for the simple fact that there's enough going on around the team to get enough damage, or maybe not damage, but enough crit hits to charge up SLKR's ultimate pretty quick. So, yeah, just one piece of the puzzle there. And the only reason I bring it up really is because you've got a lot of protection on GBA here. If you were to go down that route, putting health into him is not a bad option, because the more health he's got, the harder it is for JML to just completely wipe him out turn 1. But yeah, that's just me thinking about how I've played it. I've got a gear 12 one as well, so that doesn't really help. But yeah, overall, I'm just looking at one use case. This here, it's great. It'll do you great in your game mode, so don't worry about that. Alright. Let's see. Imperial Troopers. I think we've already seen this, yep. So we'll move along. Are you going to surprise me with Jawas? No. I'm waiting for the next Jawa surprise. I'm waiting for it. JKR, you've got him at Rally 4. Well done on that. You've got 282 speed. Okay. Could do with a little bit of a bump. Crit damage. Okay, I respect that. You've tried to get a good mod on him. A bit unlucky with those though, because you'd have to get 2 rolls of that. I mean, the max you could get on that mod is 27. So there is still something potentially there, but chances are you're going to get at most 1. You'd have to be very lucky to get the 2. And even then you'd have to be really, really lucky to get the 2 6 rolls. So yeah, just a bit unfortunate on that. 5 there. What I will say about JKR, and this extends to Darth Revan as well, I wouldn't focus on the primaries. I mean, I think right now I've got a defense primary on my Darth Revan, even though he doesn't really care for defense. And it's simply because the speed's good. So yeah, in my opinion, I would always look for speed. You know, even if it's a weird primary or weird secondaries that go along with it, those are the 2 tunes I would say, right, doesn't matter, speed first. From there you can kind of carry on with it. So yeah, just my little bit of advice there. I mean, you got 12 on that one, 16 on that one. Yeah, maybe that was a bit premature rolling, if I'm going to be brutally honest. I've done mods like that myself, just because I'm thinking maybe the secondaries are good. But I think maybe rolling what could have been less than 12 when you got to 6E, I don't know. Even if it was 12 and you've had a bad roll from 6E to 6D. Yeah, it really feels a bit premature. Still, you've got it, so maybe you can get a good roll out of it. This is the old advantage of 6E mods and beyond. It gives these secondary stats a new lease of life. Okay, so your Yoda. Let's have a look at the special offense. We're looking at 7,447, and it's Relic 2. So yeah, again, that looks a little bit low, but maybe that's the Relic, so I'm going to just say I'll back off there. I know at Relic 7 you can get up to 11-12k quite comfortably, so hopefully with Relics you could get to them levels. I think it's also a good case for Relicing him up. You know, when I was saying before your 7s looked a bit low, Grandmaster Yoda's definitely one you can afford to take to 7 and not regret it. You've got speed, you've got crit chance, you've got offense. Yeah, you've got the right sets. I mean, crit chance I'd say isn't as important, but it's still nice. Crit damage or offense, equally as good. Me personally, I'm just not a fan of crit chance mods. I've got one on Ayla, I think, right now, and maybe that's the one I know I've got a crit chance mod on. But there aren't that many on my rosters that I think, oh yeah, crit chance is great. So I'm always a little bit biased against them, but yeah, it will serve a purpose here. Right, Jolie, gear 12, just keep slapping gear on him. Another one who I'd say do not fear taking him to Relics. He's such a safe bet. Such a safe bet. And what I will say, I'm going to be posting a video of my Grand Arena on Monday from last night. I have to do the timeline here. And yeah, I unlocked Darth Malak on my main account, and my Jolie was Relic 1. And it was JKR, Jolie, and Bastila that carried it. My Zalbar and Mission, they both got the Zetas, but they were gear 10. So honestly, for Malik, just get these 3 to Rallic and you can carry it. Okay. Mandalorians. Yeah, Gear 11 Django. I can kind of expect that. Candy needs some love for Darth Rev and the Darth Malik event. Candy's so great. Okay. Night Sisters, I've been in those shoes. I've been in them. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's painful. I feel you. Okay, so Old Republic. I would actually hazard a guess. If you'd gone in for the light side of the Darth Malik event now, you could have done it. I mean, what's your power on Big Z? No mods. Very hard for me to tell. But yeah, I would wager you could do it with mods. Maybe. You probably need all 5 E's, but... or 5 A's even, but it's possible. Let me know if you've done the light side. Maybe I was giving you advice about these pair for nothing. But yeah, you'll need to work on the dark side tunes. Okay, Rebels. Okay, a bit like my Crimson account here. Need some love and attention. I'm saying it from personal experience. I know they need a lot of love, but they're such a great team. Han, I think at this point is an absolute pain because he just wants all the good gear, and if you're like me, you can't really afford to give it to him. But what I will say, if you're building up 3PO because you want to go for JKL and for JML, you don't need me to tell you you're going to need these tunes. I mean, for that top 5, you're going to need at least Rallic 3. The first 3, Rallic 5 and 6. So yeah, JML is worth it, honestly. I have so much fun with JML. But you're going to need to get his team up. And I was so pleased when I read you again for JML because he's such a great farm as far as you get so many good things along the way. And if you do what I say and get gas en route, you get that as well, which is, again, another great thing. But yeah, you need these 4, obviously. Biggs and Wedge, you'd need Leia. 3PO and Chewie, you got him at 7-star. Slap some gear on that bad boy, honestly. Slap him up to gear 7. If you can't afford to do anything else, just get him up to 7. Yeah, and then all you need is 3PO. And 3PO with the Ewoks, you're on a good path. I mean, let me just remind myself. I didn't actually check if you were capable of it. Yeah, you've got more than 7 stars, so you just need a bit of gear. Ooh. Just a bit of gear and you're probably there. I mean, you could possibly try and cheese it if you get a Zeta on Chirper. Be a push with Alder. Alder's very squishy there, but yeah, you could possibly cheese it. But yeah, like I say, Rebels, honestly, you're going to have no regrets farming them. I mean, I've got a lot of Rebels. I've got a lot of Rallic Rebels. And even some of these subpar ones, you know, like SRP, Biston, I find uses for them. So, you know, if you farm a Rebel up, you're not going to regret it. That'd be my opinion. The only ones I would say are like the likes of Bodhi and, you know, someone was talking to me the other day about a Rebel Soldier. And I wouldn't go say farming him, but, you know, there was an actual theory craft involved with him. And I thought, you know what, that could actually be a bit of fun. So, you know, like I said, none of them are bad because of Mon Mothma. Speaking of which, you do need your Mon, so go and get her. She's a great girl. She's a great girl. Okay, Resistance. You got your BB at 7, Veton at 7 because of the SLKR farm, so it looks like Finn and Vet Chewie are holding you up. Obviously, you're going to need them pair for Rey Jedi training. Again, what I would say, I did this on my Tamin account. Again, this is en route to JML. If you get Rey, just build up that team to Rallic. And it's not going to shoot wonders for you. You know, it's still going to be a fairly subpar team. But if it just gives you an option for certain encounters. Like, I've been using it as a go-to bounty hunter counter for a while now. And I keep saying, it does something for me. You know, I want to farm up the heroes so that I can do more. But right now, it's still doing a load of good for me. So, yeah, don't... when you get to go around to getting Rey to Rallic 7 for the JML farm, don't hesitate in giving these some gear, just for the fact that they can do work for you. Especially BB. If BB's fast, you can get the team going. And just to add, he's not that hard to get fast. Okay, Scoundrels. So your Veton's up there. But that does look like it. I was looking to see how your nest was going. You got a 3-star nest. Newt's a bit disappointing there, if I'm going to be brutally honest. 45 and 5-star. He's not a hard farm. Squad Arena store, the gear itself isn't that tricky. So just give him some love. He's so good in GA. But yeah, some good stuff. All that we've seen, but still good stuff. Seppies, how are they looking? Yeah, a bit like what I said, they need some attention. I would advise going for gas, I've said it already. To do that you would need B1, which I can't see there. You would need B2, which I can't see there. So yeah, I recognise it'd be a bit of a side farm from what you're on right now. But again, you will not regret it. Let's have a look at your Sith faction. I'm going to say you got DR and Bastila at Ralix, very nice. You probably choose similar to my own. I mean, I'm wondering if this is what you've been doing, to be honest. Maybe just running 5 Darth Vader alongside these 4, which is an okay team. I wouldn't do it myself, but it's an okay team. But yeah, you could do with getting your Sith Empire tunes up. I mean, I'm going to move along a second, but have you got HK? HK is at 10, so if you can get him up to 11 or 12 just for the Malak event, if anything, you've got 3 reasonably powered Sith Empire tunes. Trooper, you know, I'm in 2 minds about Trooper and Marauder. I would like both, if I'm being honest. HK's kind of he isn't a bad option. It's just HK's sort of faded from people's minds. The only reason you put HK in your Sith Empire team now is if you want to make sure Imperial Troopers don't counter it as easily. If you put both Marauder and Set in, HK, there's a lot of turn meter manipulation in the team then. So yeah, HK kind of prevents it with the Zeta. But yeah, just looking at what I'm seeing here, the 5 there would be a good offensive team. But saying that, I'm looking at Sift Trooper and I'm thinking you wouldn't take him away from your First Order. So really, you've only got 4. Maybe Thrawn from the Empire. Yeah, again, you could really do with just touching up your Sith Empire faction. I'm sure it's a work in progress. I'm not being overly critical here. I mean, let's look at your speeds. 285. And 254. So those speeds will need to go up. That's the only way I can put it. You will need to get them up. I mean, a good Darth Revan is anywhere 310 plus. I mean, I'd even say 320 plus. Bastila's usually a little bit behind. Malak, I've started modding Malak to be a little faster than her. Like literally one or 2 speed faster. But yeah, you haven't got Malak, so it's not a priority right now. But yeah, these speeds, they might catch someone out who tries to cheese you. You know, like they might take in the squad that shouldn't beat it, and then they don't. But anyone who's got half decent mods will destroy you. And I'm not being horrible there. But then again though, Chromium 4, chances are you'll face people who don't want to face a Darth Revan. So yeah, I've got that going for you. Yeah, let's go back here a sec. So yeah, just looking at your roster as a whole, what I will say, there's a lot of good stuff here, a lot of good modding. Like I say, your speeds need improvement. I'm being a little bit harsh, but I'm trying to be honest. Hey Siri, stop the timer. Sorry, I set an alarm for the Sith raid. I set an alarm for the Sith raid. But yeah, yeah, I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm thinking the more speed you have, the better your account's going to be. I think that's half the reason you can punch up sometimes, because if you've got faster mods than your opponent, it doesn't matter what they've got, they're just going to struggle to beat you because you're faster. The core principle of this game is a turn-taking game. If you are faster than your opponent, you will win. 9 times out of 10 anyway. What I've been doing myself, and I won't say it's had great benefits, but I still think it's a good principle. I've been allocating days to certain mod farming. So for instance, and I'm just going to turn my head away from my microphone slightly, on Mondays I'm doing tenacity mods, so I'll go to mod challenges and I'll just burn all my energy farming tenacity mods. Then Tuesday I do crit damage mods, Wednesday I do offense mods, then Thursday I do crit chance mods, Friday I slice these mods, if there are any good ones, Saturday I farm speed mods, and Sunday I slice more mods. And then there are three mod types I don't really farm that first week. That I farmed 2 of them the second week. So instead of tenacity on the Monday, I then farm defense mods on the Monday. And on Thursday, instead of farming crit chance, I farm potency. And I just repeat that pattern. The only one I don't farm at all right now is health, and that's because you get health mods from so many different places in the game, it's almost a waste to farm them. So yeah, that'd be something I'd advise anyone who's listening to this to do. It's a great way of just getting options at the very least, because you might look at something and go, oh, I didn't get a speed roll there. But it could be that if you're farming, say, a potency mod and it's got like 5% potency, you think, wow, even if there's not a lot of speed on this, it's going to boost the potency on someone. So by all means, I would look at it that way. Another example, sorry, I'm doing a little brag here, which isn't really part of a roster review, but I did a offense mod yesterday. It was an offense mod with, I'm trying to think, I think it might have been a triangle. Offense mod with offense primary, and there was some offense in the secondaries, and it had good speed. You know, and it's just the whole point of sometimes, actually, let me just think, have I got in my roster here? I'm going completely away from your roster, but it'd be nice to just show it off as a point in practice. Was it one of these? Let me filter my offense mods, that'll help. Was it this one? Yeah, it was this. I'd say it was a diamond instead of a circle or a triangle, but yeah, all of these have got great stats. You've got crit chance, you've got speed, you've got offense twice, and the way I see it, if I roll that to 6e, 6e, and then I try and roll it beyond, any one of those 4 rolls are good. Not to mention it's an offense mod, so it just amplifies it further. So this is one example. I mean, it's like here, I've got one here that's got no speed, no real stats that are connecting, so to be honest, I could just go and sell that. There we go, I could just sell that, bye bye, gone. You know, and that will happen. There will be mods that you just don't need, but other times you will get some good ones. So I encourage anyone to just try and take a bit of focus on the actual mod challenges. I mean, you get mod energy refilled maybe twice a day, if you're like me anyway. You get it before you go to bed and when you wake up, well, not when you wake up, but when you do your first refresh of the day kind of thing, like when you've got your standard cantina and mod energies refreshing. So yeah, that's how I look at it. I think twice a day you can just log on, do this, click here, go bonk, 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 and you're all there. So yeah, that would be my advice for someone. But yeah, let me just go back on here a sec. Yeah, just to come back to you here for a second though, because like I said, I did stray a bit there. With what you've said you're going for, I think Ewoks look very close. Just a little bit of gear will get them over the line. Once you've got Ewoks, I would try and get an Omicron. And if you've got an Omicron nearly, there's a coin toss between what you focus on in your guild. If your guild's doing alright in territory wars, you might want to put Phasma Omicron on, just because you've got a load of relics in that faction, so it might benefit you. But equally, you may being the big word, you may want to put it on Chirper, just for the fact that Chirper Omicron is quite fashionable right now. It just gives that team just that little bit more annoying factor about it. It won't stop anyone persistent, but it might catch someone out. I mean, I lost Ewoks yesterday. Not proud of it, but it can happen because the Omicron can trip people up. It can make things you would think are counters not solid counters. So again, just things to consider. Try and get those Omicrons done. Again, on this account, I'm on my baby account. I've only got one. I think I put that on Mara Jade, but I'm looking at, I think it'll do something for me. And I think that's something I would just push for you to do as well. Try and get an Omicron on something that matters to you. Whether it's a GA team you use a lot or a GA team that you put on defense a lot. or like I say, Phasma for First Order, putting it on defense or offense in TW. It'll just really boost what you're doing. Other than that, I've already said about speeds, just trying up those speed numbers. I mean, say we do a 6-month review, I just hope that you've got a few more just to benefit you. I mean, I'm just looking at your numbers again, I'm just bringing up for myself. You've only got 8 total over 20. Only 8 mods over 20 speed. So I'd like to think, say you came back in 6 months, so we're talking around September time, I'd like to think your GP would be pushing maybe 3.5 mil, maybe I'm pushing it in 6 months, but maybe at least over 3 mil within 6 months. But I think if you farming mods in that time, I'd like to think, one, you could be pushing up to 20 and 20 pluses between the two, so maybe 12 20 pluses and 8 25s. Okay, maybe I'm pushing that a bit too much. Let's call it 5 25s and 15 20 pluses. Point being, I'd like to think you would be starting to reap rewards. That's the bottom line anyway. And from there, once you've got better mods, especially the Galactic Legend in your roster, you've got good secondary focuses with JKR, Darth Revan, and it looks like you're closing in on Malik. You've got factions like Geo's built up. You have got good stuff. I mean, again, I wouldn't like facing you in GA even without Slacker. But if Slacker wasn't there, I'd be thinking mods, and I'd be thinking I could win on that. So that is what I'm imploring you. I'm thinking, get your mods up, then people will be frightened. So, yeah, that is. I'll leave it there. I've talked enough. I was saying the other day, I need to cut down the run times of these roster reviews just for my own sanity. And I haven't even touched your fleets. Sorry, let me just go to fleets, because I'm already talking about running over. You've got a 5-star finalizer. Can I ask why it's not in Fleet Arena? It's a good fleet, honestly. You've got the ships farmed up for it. To use it, which I'm presuming a little bit because you've got Tarkin there. Maybe you just don't care about fleet. Just send me a DM on Discord, or just reach out to me in the comments on YouTube. I will try and help you out. Even if I have to make a video on it, I'll do it. But Finalizer can beat some good teams. It won't be everything, but it's still worthy enough of getting higher than 142 in Fleet Arena, let's say that. So, yeah, we'll see how we get on with it, but let me know if you need help there. Alright, again, I've spoken off. You guys in the comments, tell me what you think. Have I been too harsh? Because I always fear I'm being too harsh. If you think I've missed something, like there was a toon I didn't look at, this is specifically for you, Kelvin, but if anyone else is like, hang on, what was that character like? Let me know in the comments. And if you disagree with anything, of course, comments. Same as always with YouTube videos, hit the like button, subscribe, all that jazz, everything that every other YouTuber on the planet says if they want to have growth. So please help me out like that. And yeah, hope to see you in another video. This has been Josh from JJ's Productions. Catch you around, folks.